Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about why I began my bodybuilding journey and kind of give you guys a little background of myself and the struggles that I've been through that kind of led me to this sport. So it really dates back, I feel like, to my high school days. When I turned about 16, 17 years old or so, I just noticed that I would begin to feel really anxious about just little minor infractions in my life. And on top of that, I just became really super obsessive over my weight and wasn't happy with the way that I looked in the mirror. And I just remember always starting to become very obsessive over the number that I would see on the scale. And so while I struggled with my body image in high school, I think a lot of the anxiety that I had kind of stemmed off of that. And I really just let my weight and the way that I viewed myself in the mirror just kind of control how I felt for the rest of the day. And it was a super unhealthy outlook to have, and some days were worse than other days. And it definitely got better over time and as I got older. But for as long as I can remember, even when I joined the Marine Corps, throughout my Marine Corps days, I still struggled with body image and always focusing on that number that I saw on the scale. I just remember 130 being my number. I always feel like I had to stay under 130 and I could never be over 130. And if I was ever 130 or over, it would just stress me out to the max. And I would just feel uncomfortable and just not happy within my own skin. And I would let it control my entire day the next day. I would restrict my eating just to make sure that I stayed under that 130 despite how I looked in the mirror. And I still wasn't happy with myself in the mirror even if I was under 130. So, and you know, other things having to deal with my anxiety just kind of stemmed off of that. Like I said before, in high school, I used to let little kinds of infractions just really stress me out, just with my personal life and things like that. And then as I got older, I would find those little things still bothering me. Just adult life matters at that point. So fast forward to 2015, I was already out of the Marine Corps working in civil service, but I worked with a friend who was involved in bodybuilding, specifically the bikini division. And I was actually able to see her transformation from the beginning of her prep to the end of her prep. And I really got a good insight of everything that she ate and her training regimen because I was with her. I worked in the office with her most every day. So, and I remember thinking, wow, she just looks so strong and confident and just overall badass. And I just really want that. You know, I want to feel confident in myself and finally comfortable in my skin. I want to be able to focus on something other than just the number that I see on the scale. Because like I said, ever since high school up until that point, that was always my thing. And I just didn't want to feel controlled by it anymore. So for 2 years after that, I always considered wanting to try out the sport, but I never took the plunge just because I would always make an excuse, or, you know, I just felt like I needed to wait, you know, financially to be able to do it, because it's not, to be honest, it's not a cheap sport. It can get pretty expensive. So if you ever are thinking about the sport, I would suggest maybe saving your money on the forefront so you're not so stressed out financially with the prep and everything like that during. But I'll probably save all of that for another video because it needs a video all on its own. But yeah, so finally in May of 2017 was when I finally decided that I wanted to do something about how I felt mentally and physically. So I decided to start my first bikini prep, and I started right off the bat. Just found a coach who was actually her coach at the time, and I just took the dive right into it. And and I absolutely loved it. I loved the process. I loved feeling. I did notice that once my prep actually ended, I actually felt some of those feelings of anxiety coming back, because if you've ever been through a prep, they call it the post-show blues, but after you go through a prep, you're supposed to go into reverse diet after your competition and kind of slowly increase your calories over time. And I did not do that. I ate all the foods, every bit of it, and it was good, and I regret it, but I don't regret it, just because I dieted for so long, between 16 to 20 weeks, and it wasn't easy. But I mean, I accomplished it. I accomplished my goal. But by the time I was done, I was ready to eat all of the food, and I did eat all the food. And I had a lot of water weight the next couple days. Over the course of the couple days after that, the water weight did eventually come off, and I started to look normal again. But still, over the course of 3 to 4 months after that, I actually had to start, my improvement phase. I had to start building muscle, and with that, you have to start gaining a little bit of weight, and with a little bit of weight gain comes a little fat gain too. And I think just, for those 16 weeks, I got used to seeing my body a certain way, like looking lean. And then it was kind of like a mind fuck, more or less, from seeing my body looking so lean for so long, and then, actually kind of starting to look a little bit more normal again, because it's not normal to look that lean all year round. And so I really had to figure out how to train my mind to be comfortable with how I looked, and not, worry about the number that I saw on the scale, because it was really affecting my day for the worse. And so I finally just had to quit weighing myself altogether. For the first 2 or 3 weeks, I would weigh myself every day, which is completely unnecessary. I understand it a little bit more if you're on, toward the end of your prep, and you kind of want to track your progress day to day for that, that comp day. That's a little bit more understandable. But when you're in improvement season, there's absolutely no reason to weigh yourself every day. It's just completely unnecessary, and it's unhealthy on a mental level. So I finally quit weighing myself. I would go back to weighing myself maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. And then I tried to focus my mind more on my performance in the gym. So I would focus on my strength and how strong I was getting, and the new PRs I was breaking. And that really helped my confidence internally. I still struggle today with how I look in the mirror, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was, because I know that I'm trying to actually reach a goal. I have a goal to reach, and that's to build muscle. And whenever I do start prep and lean down, I know that I'm going to look my muscles are going to look larger and more full than they were in my last competition. And that's really the goal. And I know that I'm not going to look this way forever. I'm not going to look fluffy for even another year. I'm going to start prep, and I'm going to lean down, and then, after that prep, I'll go through this process again, and I'll go about it a much healthier way than I did this last time. Like I said, I didn't reverse diet properly. I did gain weight fairly quickly, and I finally hit a plateau, so I haven't been gaining weight for a while. But I definitely want to stay a bit leaner the next time around. Definitely not stage lean or prep lean, but I do overall want to stay a little bit leaner, just for my health and just to be a little bit more comfortable in my body. But the whole point of this video, guys, is that I just wanted to kind of explain to you what led to my decision to do bodybuilding. And I feel like the sport just really helped to relieve some of my anxiety issues, because I was able to use that anxiety and the stressors to actually fuel my workouts. And being able to put all of that into my conditioning just really helped me mentally, because I felt like I was actually reaching my goals, and it gave me more confidence. And it also gave me like a peace of mind. And I don't know if you're spiritual or not, But I just feel like when I'm in the gym, I just feel like a sense of peace. Like it's just me, the weights, and I just kind of feel like that's my time just to kind of wind down. And that's like my spiritual time too. Like I just feel like I can have that time to just kind of meditate, talk to God if I need to, and just, you know, put it all out there on the floor. And so I really enjoy it. Now, I'm not saying if you have like anxiety issues like I've had that, you know, your hobby should be lifting weights. You need to be in the gym to be able to feel better about yourself. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, it definitely does help to be able to feel better about your body and be able to experience those happy endorphins. But you can find other hobbies to be able to find your happy place in your zen, basically. But I'm gonna end this video. If you guys liked it, please give it a like and a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I will see you all in the next video. Thanks.